Hey guys, welcome to the Travel Wisdom Podcast. Now, today we're going to be talking about internships and internships abroad. Um, I think I may have mentioned it a little bit on the show, but actually, the reason I'm here in Germany at the moment, December 2014, is a long series of events that really more or less started with an internship. This internship also was begun by a series of events, and so it's just an amazing chain of events. It feels like that started like way back a few years ago, and it almost felt like I was building up on the momentum as I was going along, and just kept doing the right thing, and eventually here I am in Germany, studying my master's here. So it was really good and quite lucky, I would say, as well. So I would say internships abroad are really good. I mean, obviously, I don't know why they accepted me at the school here. I mean, it turned out to be quite prestigious, or they only accepted about 10% of applicants. But I don't know why they let me here, but the internship was probably one of the reasons. So internships are very useful, and I would say even that if you're traveling somewhere and you want to go somewhere for a longer period of time, then maybe do an internship as well, especially if you're a young person, maybe under 20, 25, something like that, and you want to build up your resume. I think an internship might be one of the best ways to do this, because if you really like a place. So for example, my brother really wanted to go to Brazil, and he said, oh, I want to go to Brazil for a month or two, something like this. And I told him, like, why not go to do an internship? You can stay there and then be able to travel, for example, during the weekends, and be able to experience Brazil, and you know but build up something for your CV or for your resume as well, because essentially when you're doing an internship, you could be working for free in a company, or working for very little pay. So companies love this, and basically it's a great way for them to I don't know, vet you, and make sure that you're a good person for the job, which saves them money in the long run as well. They would rather spend, a few $100s or euros or whatever money that they have, to make sure they're like, okay, maybe this guy's good, maybe this guy's not, rather than realize a year later, man, we don't want this guy, and we can't get rid of him though, because there's just laws against firing people for no reason and all this. So internships are good for this reason. Now let me get into the my story a little bit more in terms of the internship. So I was doing my mechanical engineering degree at the University of Utah, and I worked in a place. It was called BlackRock Microsystems, and basically making neural arrays, which is basically implants for the brain. And it was really cool because this company, I mean, it was making a device that basically could talk and send and receive information to your brain and from your brain. So it was really cool. So they were able to implant this into paraplegics, people who couldn't move their legs or their arms, or couldn't feel them either. And after a while, after a bit of training and everything like this, they were able to move a robotic arm with their thoughts. So very cool stuff. And it was through this. I mean, I had an internship there, and I found that very useful. And because of this, I said something like, oh, I want to go to Germany. I've heard very good things about its engineering reputation, and I want to go check it out, see if it's good for me. Because also I've heard that Germans have a reputation for being very anal, being very like, oh, nine, you are 2 minutes late. Why are you 2 minutes late? There is no explanation for this. You must come on time all the time. All the time. You must never come 2 minutes late. So that was kind of the thing that I was trying to avoid. And so same thing with the internship from the business side. I was wanting to check out Germany from my side, just be like, whoa, would Germany be good? Would an engineering job in Germany be good? And so it was kind of a low risk, tasting almost, and see if it'd be good. So yeah, this is what I did. Except I kind of realized this a little bit too late. I started putting out the word in about February, and our semester ended in May, and I would have had break from about June till August, something like this. And so it really only left me about 2 months before that. Except the thing is, in Germany at least, you have to do these internships a lot farther in advance. I would say, I mean, a lot of it, DAAD, DAD, Deutschland Ausland Akademische Dienst, which is the foreigner sponsorship programs for foreigners and internships and everything like this. They could have funded it as well, but they needed that application by October or November or something like that. So I had already missed it by 3 months, which meant I had to apply for this about 6 months in advance, which requires a lot more foresight than I'm used to. But yeah, so I wasn't able to do it through this, but actually through this company, through BlackRock, I was able to just go straight into the company that their sister company, the company that they worked for some of their products in Germany. So that was great. They literally, I mean, they had weekly phone calls with them, and so literally like one week they just picked up the phone and it was like, hey, we have a guy that wants to intern at your place. Is that cool? Like, would you guys take him on? And they're like, sure, why not? So it was absolutely incredibly easy for me, which I have to admit I was very lucky for this because otherwise I would have been SOL. I wouldn't have had any luck with this, and I wouldn't have been able to participate. I wouldn't have been able to do this. So yeah, I was really excited about this, and really it wasn't too difficult because I was only doing it for the summer. I was only doing it for 2 months. I didn't need any special visas, which I only found out about after 2 or 3 weeks of running around all the visa places and trying to arrange everything in German. Once I finally came to Germany, of course, is what I'm talking about, and yeah, so it was quite interesting, and yeah, I made some money. I think I got like 1,000 euros for the 2 months or something like this. But so it wasn't a crazy amount of money, but it was enough to cover my expenses and everything like this. And in terms of internships, my experience has always been you don't do very much. They kind of limit how much work you do. They're of course not going to give you lots of responsibility. They're not going to give you a job that makes or breaks the company, to somebody that really doesn't have that much of a stake in the company, or that is going to leave in a few months, something like this. So usually the tasks that you have are pretty easy, but you can get I don't know, kind of an image, or you can imagine what life would be like in the company, and you can see if you would like it or not. So it doesn't matter if this is a company in your own home country or if it's a company abroad. And either way, and also the thing is, if it's a company abroad, you can also see if you like the city because you're going to be there, during the nights and stuff as well. So this is exactly what I did, and I came to Germany to see if I would like it. I ended up not liking it. I loved it. So I was absolutely sold on the idea and was very, very excited to come back as soon as I could. And that's the reason I'm here now, actually, is because I was so sold on the idea of coming to Germany that I decided to come back, right away. And just from my experience here, pretty much in Berlin, which probably was a little bit of a thing because Berlin's such an awesome city, so it was probably cheating a little bit that I was in Berlin, actually. But that's exactly it. You don't have to do anything crazy. It always helps if you have some sort of connection into the company. Maybe you already have a previous internship, or you know somebody, something like this, to get into the company, or just do it through the official channels. My experience has been, if you do it through the official channels, your resume has to look really, really good, and this is not always a useful thing. This is always not a good thing, because you could be good on paper but not good in real life. You could be good in real life but not look good on paper, and that's mine kind of falls into the latter category, I would say. That sometimes my stuff doesn't look so good on paper because I didn't know how to write it at the time, and now it's getting a little bit better. Maybe I have a little bit more experience. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I highly, highly recommend internships. Highly, highly. I mean, it goes along with the idea of travel. Is just going out, trying to see if something's good, seeing if it's not good, and just seeing where it leads. I mean, it's just an experience, and it's ultimately the experience that makes you a wiser person, right? So by experiencing something new, with low risk, right? I mean, okay, maybe you lose 3 months of your life. That's not so bad. That's not as bad as 3 years of your life, right? And at least you learn something new. You can see maybe what you really like, what you really don't like, and all this kind of stuff. So this is exactly what I learned, and I've done many internships since then, because I really enjoy this, and I love trying everything out. And at the end of it, I feel like I have a more precise notion, a more precise idea of what it is exactly that I want to do, and what company it is that I want to do. And so now I have a very good imagination. I can't. Vorstellung auf Deutsch. In German, I can't think of the English word. Sorry, but concept. I have a better concept, I guess, of what I want to do, and where I would be extremely happy. Not just happy, but extremely happy. Just like doing so well you know, I wake up, and on Mondays I wake up and am just so excited to go to work. So I have a better idea of this. And so back to the internships abroad. Internships abroad are really, really cool because, like I said, you don't have much to do. I mean, okay, you do have some responsibilities, you do have some tasks that you have to do, but I wouldn't say it's more than about 30 hours a week. This has been my experience with it. So, of course, I've talked to other people that have had different experience with it, but even my old girlfriend, she was in Japan, and in Japan, they're known to work like 80-hour weeks, and their rush hour is at 9 p.m. because that's when everybody goes home. But because she was an intern, because she was a guest, she was able to work gaijin hours. So she would only do the 9 to 5, and even 10 to 5 or something like this, just because it's not so important that you're there. So it's really nice. And what this allows you to do, I mean, it's one thing to not show up and not, work. I mean, work hard and everything. That's not what I'm saying. Work hard, do what you need to do, meet the right people, talk to everybody, get everybody's opinion on everything, and imagine where you would be the happiest. But ultimately, you don't have to work so hard, and you can really spend more time exploring other things. So okay, so you don't use those hours working or working towards your career or something like this, but you should use those hours doing something productive. Be it learning the local language, or learning about the city that you're in, or just exploring and checking out the country that you're in. So these are all very, very good things. And this is what I did when I was in Germany. I spent many, many hours learning German, and that was really nice. I did meetup groups, I did couch surfing events, all this kind of stuff, and I talked to lots of people, got like the German experience and what everybody thought about it, and told them my experience with it. And I must have talked to, in those 2 months, I must have talked to at least 100 people, 200 people, about my experience and everything like this. And so that was really good, because sometimes you might have an idea, but if you talk to a few people, they'll be like, oh, this is not the right idea, or it's actually like this, and then maybe you can see it the correct way. Also, I did a lot of traveling, so every weekend, or kind of near the end. I mean, I was there for 2 months in Berlin, and every weekend I would just go around, do a weekend trip, and go around Germany. So I only did 4 trips, I believe. So I did one to Dresden, Leipzig, Dresden where I am now. I did one to Munich, and one to Nordrhein-Westfalen, which is like Bonn, Düsseldorf, Cologne, all these kinds of places. So I did these weekend trips, and then I went to Dresden a second time, actually. I did these weekend trips, and I mean, it was absolutely great. Like, really, I was able to see the city, and honestly, I saw a lot more of Germany than some Germans saw even. And one of my workmates was saying like, "Oh, I've never been to Munich," and I'm just like, "Really? I mean, you live in Germany; it's so close." It was only like, he was so surprised that I was able to go there just for the weekend, because it's 5 hours away, and he's just like, "What? You just went there for the weekend? That's crazy." But I found it very good, and I was able to explore Germany the way I wanted to. So yeah, this is a great way to explore a country while building up your resume too. So and sometimes, and being productive at the same time, because for me, for example, and I think I've mentioned this before, is I sometimes feel lazy if I am just traveling, or even just staying in a country for a while. So for example, I was in Thailand last year, and overall, I think I was there for like 6 weeks or something like this, and it was mind-numbingly boring sometimes. I was doing Muay Thai, I was getting massages. I mean, that those two things, I mean, they went after each other, and that was only about 6 hours of my day, and the rest of the day was almost nothing. So it was kind of boring, and had I had work, I think it would have been much more fun, and I would have met much more a wide array of people, and you just meet different people. So this is something that I recommend, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast as well. I'm going to be going to India in 2015 for about 6 to 8 months for my master's thesis, Bangalore, India. So I'm really, really excited about this, because Bangalore, India, I mean, Bangalore is kind of like a triangle like this, or India is kind of like a triangle, and then Bangalore is more or less in the middle, and near the bottom. And so it's quite centrally located, and with the overnight trains, which is air conditioned sleeper train, you can get quite far in the 8 to 12 hours that you're traveling. So I can literally cover two-thirds of the country with this, and it's something like €7 or €8 or $10 or something like this for each way. So it's quite interesting as well. So I'm really excited about this because India is such a huge place, subcontinent, right? I mean, you need to give it respect. You need to give it more than the 2 or 3 weeks that you might give another country to explore it like fully, more or less. But I have always thought that India needed much, much more time. It'd be like saying, oh, I went to Europe for 2 weeks and I saw everything, or I went to the United States and Canada for 2 weeks and I saw everything, because there's just so many things to explore that you just can't explore unless you're going at lightning speed or something like this. So yeah, this is something that I'm thinking about. I mean, the internship is more. I mean, it's a master's thesis, so I'm going to be working in a lab, but may or may not be getting paid. So it's more or less kind of like an internship. It's also just kind of like a study abroad, and I'm going to see what I think about India. I'm going to see if I like it, if I don't like it, if I could live there, if I couldn't live there, if I could work there, if I couldn't work there, and kind of the way I have it imagined right now is that I would live in Germany, like that would be my home base here, and then I would spend a few months per year in India because I see a lot of potential in India and everything, I guess. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. And I mean, if I am there for eight months, times 4 weeks per month, right? That's 32 weeks, 32 weekends, right? So even if I travel only every other weekend, that's 15, 16 trips that I could make around the country. So it's 15, 16 locations that I could check out in the country. So, I mean, this is absolutely ideal. I mean, I'm able to have a home base, be established, but also take like a small, like a really small backpack just for the weekend, 2 shirts, few socks, and my tablet, and that's about it. And I can just hop on somewhere, and I don't need to be dragging around my huge backpack, and I could just do that. At the same time, I'm building up my CV, making great contacts, making great business contacts, and it's a win-win situation. So this is something that I recommend. This is something that I'm personally doing, and this is something that I recommend: is do internships abroad, because it can absolutely lead to where you want to go. Like I said, this is the chain of events how it went to me, how it came to me. I had a professor. He introduced me to somebody at the BlackRock, and I got my internship there. They introduced me to the Fraunhofer, which is an institute here in Germany, and I was able to get an internship in Berlin, and then I was able to apply for my master's in nanobiophysics here in Dresden, and then now I'm going to India, and then who knows where that's going to lead me. Just so many doors that it opens. It takes you to absolutely a place that you would never expect, and so yeah, this is just something that I highly, highly recommend: is do internships abroad, the same way I'm doing, and it's plants so many seeds for the future, so many seeds for your success later on. So I hope this was useful. Enjoy, guys. See ya.